Hello rail fans, welcome to another French Fried Trains Minecraft locomotive tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make this mother slug set with a Gp40-2 mother and a Gp30 road slug. Now don't worry, I'm not going to make you sit through an extra long video as we record two whole locomotives. We're going to use the newly implemented structure command to copy the first locomotive we build and make some edits to change it. I'm going to be basing this on an actual Gp30 road slug I was fortunate enough to catch a couple years ago when I was down in LaGrange, Kentucky. So as usual here, I'm going to go ahead and build this on the front of the train I already have. So our first step is going to be to take out dark oak stairs for the coupler and place it opposite the coupler on the locomotive that's already there. Underneath that, dark oak fence gate for an air hose. Then we're going to take polished blackstone stairs, 3 of them coming across the rails like this. Then on the sides of that, we're going to place them upside down, facing towards the outsides. Above that, we put a polished blackstone block in the middle, and then upside down stairs facing forwards, coming out to the sides. Then above that, all polished blackstone blocks. Now we come behind that, starting in the middle with our blocks, and we make a T-shaped pattern. On the sides of that, on the bottom 2 next to it, place end rods for your porch lighting. Then behind that, we make another column of 3 in the middle, and we drag that out to each side of the track, so we have a 3x5 when we're done. Now we're going to make our locomotive's wheels. So we come behind here, we skip a block, place one in the middle for placement, and place a block of netherite on each rail. Delete the middle one and an end rod becomes the axle. Then we switch back to stairs and we make an upside down pattern of 2 back to back in a T-shape. Once we have that, we're going to come on the other side and put a block of netherite on each rail for the next set of wheels. An end rod in the middle is the axle. Switch to dark oak fence gate, and on the front surfaces of the wheels, we're going to place fence gates and open them into the wheels. And then the same thing on the back wheels, fence gates and open them into the wheels for air hoses. Then we place hoppers everywhere there's a wheel. After that, we're going to get nether brick wall, and we place that over anywhere where there's stairs on each side. Above that, on the outside, we're going to place nether brick slabs going from wheel to wheel. And the same thing on this side. Nether brick slabs on the outside going from wheel to wheel. Now we switch back to a polished blackstone block, and in this middle here, fill in this whole middle 3, coming all the way back to the back of the wheels. And we're going to bring that 3 past the wheels. Then we come around and underneath here, and on this 3rd one, we bring a row of 3 on the bottom. Now switch back to polished blackstone stairs, and on this bottom block, upside down and facing outward, we place a row of 8. Once we have that, we're going to come around and fill this end in on the bottom with a row of 3 blocks. Switch back to our stairs, upside down facing outward, and bring that forward to the front block there. This is the fuel tank. Now switch back to your block and fill in this middle 3 that's 1 block up. You could fill in the tank, but you won't see it from the outside, so it don't matter. Take it 1 block past, and then another block past. Then place netherite for the next set of wheels. An end rod in the middle for axles. Switch to stairs and make them upside down in a back-to-back T pattern. And once we have that, switch back to netherite for your wheels again, and an end rod for the axle. Then we put nether brick walls anywhere that there's a stair, and we put hoppers anywhere there's a wheel. And then nether brick slabs across all 4 of the top on the outside. Same thing here. Nether brick walls on the stairs, a hopper on each wheel, and nether brick slabs on the outside 4. Then we come down underneath with dark oak fence gate and open them into each wheel for the air hoses. And the same thing on the other side, dark oak fence gates on the wheels opened up. And come around on this side and get under there and put it on this last corner. Now we come back to the top and continue filling in with our polished black stone blocks. Fill that in one past the wheel. Then put one in the middle sticking out, and underneath that one in the middle on bottom and one in the middle on top. Then extend those out too to the edges of the rails on each side so you have a 3x5. Then we make a column in the middle and turn it into a T-shape, and then end rods on the bottom two on each side. Then on bottom, 3 stairs facing this way, on the sides of those upside down stairs facing outwards. Above that, we put a block in the middle, and then upside down stairs facing forwards on each side, and the top row is all blocks. Now we come around and make the coupler for this side, so switch to dark oak stairs and place 2 high. Delete the bottom one and place a dark oak fence gate underneath for the air hose. Now we come in with oak wood slabs to be our stairs, and we're going to place them on each of these 3 on the bottom, so there's a gap between them and they look like stairs. So on each of these 3 on bottom on both sides, come to the other end of the locomotive and do the same thing. So 3 slabs, and come over to the other side and do the exact same thing. 1, 2, 3, and we have our stairs. Now we have to decide which end of the locomotive is the front. Since this is going to be the road slug, I'm going to have it facing backwards. So take an anvil to be your air tank, and we're going to start at the end of the fuel tank and bring it till there's a 2-block gap left at the front. Same thing here, start at the end and bring it forward till we have a 2-block gap. Now we're going to come in right here with a crimson button for the fuel shutoff and a backwards player head so you don't see the face for the fuel cap. Same thing on this side. We'll place a player head and a crimson button. Now we're going to come in with a chain for some extra detail. So on the second block up, place 1 there, 2 here, 2 coming this way, and 1 by that porch. And then we do the same thing on the other side of the locomotive. On that second block, wherever there's a gap, we're going to go ahead and just place some chains. So 2 there, and 2 on this side here, and 1 on the end. Now we're going to come in with yellow concrete and fill in this 3rd layer. So all the way 5 across, end to end to the other side of the locomotive. And once we brought that to the other end, the underframe of our locomotive is finally complete. Now we're going to come in on the front of our locomotive, 2 blocks in from the middle, and place a yellow concrete, a blue concrete on top of that, and then another yellow. The blue is your nose logo. Then kitty corner, 3 yellow, and 3 yellow on the other side. Switch it around here, and we place a column of 3 blue on that side, and just 1 blue on this side so we have room for a door. Then on the outside, we place 2 blue on each side. Then we're going to make a column of 4 blue on this outside edge, and the same thing over here. This will be the front of the cab frame. Then we come in with a 2x2 of blue on each side, and then another column of 4 blue to be the back of the cab. Now we come in and place 2 yellow concrete in each of these gaps on the top. Come around the front with a black stained glass pane, 1 on each side, and a blue block in the middle. Then above these 2 gaps of yellow, 2 stained glass panes. There's your locomotive's windows. Now we're going to come down to the other end of the locomotive and start working on the back. Yellow concrete in the middle, 2 blocks from the end. 2 high, then a blue, and then another 2. And then kitty corner to that on each side, another column of 5 yellow on each side. Then we're going to come in with blue concrete and make this 5 high and bring that all the way up so it meets the cab at the front. When we get to the front on the engineer side, the first block behind the cab is only going to be 2 high to leave space for a door. Then we come over to the other side and do the exact same thing. Blue concrete, 5 blocks high, and bring that all the way to the back. And now our locomotive is taking shape. So now we're going to come up on the front above the cab and we're going to start extending out this roof. So blue concrete and bring it 3 across the middle here and bring that right to the front of the cab. And then on that middle block, on the front middle, place 1 more block sticking out. Now we're going to come in with smooth quartz stairs and place a row of 4 facing outwards on the sides of the cab like this. Same thing on this side. 4 smooth quartz stairs. Now we come on top of the cab with quartz slabs. 1 in the middle and 1 back, and then a 3 by 2. The Gp30 has a hump over the cab and around the dynamic brakes that's very distinctive amongst other locomotives. Now we're going to finish off the bottom back of the cab real quick. So we need to come over to the engineer side of the train with some blue concrete. Stack a column of 2 to reach that door, and then 2 going sideways to the left. Then we can come up to the top of the locomotive and just fill in this middle so it's sealed off before we start building the rest of the stuff up here. Now we're going to make some vents. While there's no vents on the back of the locomotive because the prime mover's gone on a road slug, it does retain its dynamic brakes. So 1 behind the cab, on top on each side, polished basalt so the lines are going vertical. Now we have to continue the Gp30's distinctive hump. So get out warped slabs in the middle, 2 blocks back from those vents, and make this plus shape for the dynamic brake fan. And then we're going to fill in the rest of this in front here, going all the way up to the front of the cab with warped slabs. We're going to start 1 block from the fan and fill this all in. Then starting from the top outside edge of the cab, continue with the slabs in a row down the outside edge and bring it back till it's 2 past the end of the dynamic brake fan here. And do the same thing on the other side. Start at the top of the cab and bring it all the way back till we go 2 past the dynamic brake fan here. Now we come in with some warped stairs to detail this a little more. So underneath the end of this, place 1 stair upside down facing backwards. Then 2 upside down facing the outside. Switch to blackstone stairs and place 3 for the vent, and then another 1 in front of that facing outwards. And actually that should be facing towards the front so it wraps around in this corner shape. And we're going to come across and mirror this on the other side. So get to the other side of the locomotive. At the back, a warp stair upside down facing backwards, and then 2 going sideways, 3 blackstone stairs, and then 1 warped facing forwards. Now the blower area on a Gp30 actually goes bottom to top. So take blue stained glass, starting right behind the cab, and bring that all the way up. Then another row, and another row, and another, till it lines up with those vents. And it actually goes to the top, so we're going to place some black stained glass over the vent. And now we have the blower area. And now that I look at it, on this top row on the outside edge, we're going to knock off this last slab so it has a bit more of an angle and looks a little better. Now this is a slug, so there's no fans or vents on the back for the prime mover, because there is no prime mover. Now we need to make some banners for the logo, so we're going to place down a loom. Now we go into our loom, and we have a blue banner, put that up there, in yellow dye. We make a vertical on the left, and then a horizontal on top, and a horizontal on bottom for the C. Take another blue banner, a horizontal on bottom, a horizontal on top, and then a diagonal for the S, and then 2 diagonals to make the X. Then we're going to switch to blue dye, and we're going to put those same banners in and use the pattern that's a border around. This makes the letters look better. Now we come in with the banners and place our letters right underneath these polished black stone stairs. So now we have our logo. Come around to the other side and do the exact same thing. Place the banners right under the black stone stairs. Now we're going to come on top of the cab again with some white carpet and put one on these 3 blue blocks here. Then we're going to come do the rest of the roof, so switch to blue carpet and start filling in everything around the outside of this fan. Leave the middle of the fan empty for now, and then bring the blue carpet all the way to the back of the locomotive, all the way to the end. Now we build the fan, so come in the middle of this plus and knock out the block, place in a blast furnace, then crouch and put a trap door on top of it. Now we have our dynamic brake fan. Now we're going to build the interior, so come in the nose here with some prismarine slabs. And starting in the very front of the nose, make it 2 slabs high so it lines up with this door. And bring that another 3 blocks back, 2 slabs high. And then on this last one, place a 3rd slab. Then, make a column of slabs coming all the way up on each side to the bottom of the windows. Turn to the side and bring your slabs up to the bottom of this yellow block. And extend that around to the door and behind here, all the way up so it all matches on the same level. And then on the other side too, same thing to the bottom of the yellow. Come to the back of the cab where there's this gap, put a sideways furnace for a breaker box and a block of glowstone for some light. Then place 2 stairs to be your seats. In the middle block, put an item frame with a compass and then a lever on the engineer side. Then we come down into the nose of the cab. We place an end portal in the very front to be a toilet. Then we put a door right there, come out on the nose and place a door in this gap, and come around the back of the engineer side and place a door in this gap. Inaccurate, but necessary in order to have a working interior. Now we come in on the nose of the cab, and we're going to have to crouch, and we're going to place string above that end portal and string in the middle there. This will allow us to crouch and put carpet on top of that and the doors and hold the carpet up. And fill in the rest of the nose with blue carpet. Now we're going to do our railing. So we're going to come in with oak fences because we don't have yellow, and start on the bottom edge, bring that up 3 and then 1 higher. Same thing on this side, up 3, 1 higher. Come around on the front and we make a 2x2, skip the middle, 2x2 on the other side, and then bring that up from the bottom and connect it. And then right here we do 3 coming up, and we're actually going to bring this up 2. And then we're going to switch to warp fences and bring this back to the cab. Same thing on this side, so this needs to come up another one of oak, then switch to warp and bring it back to the cab. Then, starting from the bottom back of the cab, we use warp fences and we bring that back all the way to the back of the locomotive. We stop at the end of the yellow and switch back to oak, bring that from the bottom and connect it. Then come up from the bottom on this side, 1 past, then on the end, a 2x2, skip the middle another 2x2, and bring this up from the bottom and connect it there, and then bring this up from the bottom one pass and switch back to warp and bring that to the front of the locomotive. Once we get to this blue block, up 1, over 2, up 1 again, and then over 2 to connect. Now we're going to detail the front, so come in with a birch sign and put your locomotive number. I'm using 2280 because that's the locomotive I'm building. And we're going to put a sign with a number plate on each side of the cab above the windows. Then in the middle, put an item frame with glowstone for the headlight. And then come down here on these oak fences and put 2 item frames with glowstones for your ditch lights. Then we take crimson fence gate on each side of the middle and open them, and tripwire hooks on the outside to be all our cables. And then come down here on the coupler and crouch and place a trapdoor and another above it. Then close it and you can delete the first one you used to place it. There's your fold down walkway so you can walk between locomotives. Now we come to the back of the locomotive to detail that side. So we're going to come down 1 block from the top on each side with a birch sign and our number plate. I'm using 2280, so 1 on each side there. Then we place a ladder going all the way up the left hand side, and then we're going to switch to our item frames and place an item frame with glowstone, and I like to have 2 of them there. There's the back headlight, and then down here on the fences, another item frame on each side with glowstone for the ditch lights. Then we place open crimson fence gates on each side of the middle and tripwire hooks on the outside. Then we're going to use some kind of block temporarily to stand on so we can get on it and we can crouch to place our trapdoors. So crouch, a trapdoor in the middle and 1 right above it. Then we can close that and erase the bottom one. Go ahead and erase your temporary block, and then on the locomotive I'm looking at, there's a small door on the back side here. So we're just going to come 1 in and 1 up from the yellow, and we're going to place a trapdoor 3 high and close them. And we'll go ahead and come around and do the same thing on this other side here. So 1 over and 1 up from the yellow, and then just 3 trapdoors and close them up against the locomotive. Now we need to place our handbrake, and this particular locomotive has a pump action handbrake instead of a wheel, so we're going to go ahead and put a tripwire hook next to this door. Now we're taking out some carpet so we can cover up our walkways and have it look a little better, and we also need a bell. So black carpet up on here, and then all around the front anywhere that there's not anything built, and wrap that all the way around and up there. Then we place black carpet up on these stairs, and then everywhere on this yellow, and just drag that all the way back to the back of the locomotive. And bring this carpet right around the back end, same thing as the front. Now in this corner here where the ladder is, we have to knock out that one and place black wool, and then keep bringing the carpet up to the front of this side of the locomotive. And we can't place it where the stained glass is, so that'll have to do. Then we take out a bell, we come around the engineer side, and behind this dynamic brake blister, we put a bell on top. Then we grab a warp fence gate to be our horn. And we're going to come in on the back middle of the locomotive, 1 behind the fan, knock out the carpet, and open the fence gate to be your horn. And now our Gp30 road slug is complete. But a road slug does need to be mated to a mother in order to get electricity. So I'm going to show you how to use the newly implemented structure command. And what we're going to do is copy this locomotive and rotate it so we don't have to build another one, and then we'll do some edits to it. Before we do this, you want to make an extra copy of your world, because if we mess up any of these coordinates, it'll mess up your build. Now we need to get our first coordinate for the command. So come out one from the rails and up one so we don't include the rails. This way we include the handrails on the side of the locomotive. Make sure we're lined up with the coupler, and whatever your coordinates are, write those down. Mine are -1677, 23, and 161, but they'll be different for you based on where you're at in your world. The command needs two sets of coordinates. This was our bottom on one side, so now we want to get the top on the other side. So we're going to align with the coupler, and same thing, one out from the rails, and we're going to build a temporary stack to stand on here so we can tell Minecraft our other coordinate. I'm going to come a couple blocks above just to make sure we get everything. Now we come into our command menu, and we're going to type / the word structure, make sure you spell it right, space save, space, and name your structure, whatever you want. I'm just going to name it the letter A because I'm lazy. Then we add a space, and those first coordinates we wrote down earlier, we need to type those in. So mine was -1677, space 23, space 161. And then we're going to put 3 tilde marks with spaces in between them. This tells Minecraft the coordinates where I'm standing. Then when we enter that, you should get a message that it's saved. Now we're going to do our placement, and this is very precise. Wherever you're standing when you issue the load command is going to be the northwest corner of your build, and it's going to be going off to your left, to the east, and to the south. So this is going to be different for everyone. I know I'm on the north side of my tracks right now, and out there towards the void is the west. So right now I'm counting the length of the locomotive. In this case it is 30 blocks long, coupler to coupler. So what we're going to do is go another 30 blocks past this, so we're standing in the northwest corner. I have east-west tracks, so obviously it's going to be very different for you if you have north-south tracks. So I know the locomotive's 30 blocks long and I need to be in the northwest corner, so I'm counting out 30 blocks out into the empty rails here. Now I'm placing a marker block, so I'm 30 blocks away in my northwest corner, and it's going to go off to the left towards the locomotive we already built. I need to place one more block on top of that marker so I'm at the right height matched up with the rails, otherwise it'll be too low. So once you're sure you're in the right space, go ahead and stand on your marker block, go into the command menu, type in / the word structure, space load, space whatever you named it, I named mine A, space tilde mark, space tilde mark, space tilde mark to tell Minecraft where you're standing, then another space, and we're rotating this, so I'm going to type 180 underscore in the word degrees. This will rotate the build so the engine's facing the other way. And once we enter that, the whole train engine should load, and if we've calculated everything correctly, it should be connected up at the coupler with the first one. And it worked. But like I said, it's always a good idea to save a copy of your world before you execute the command, in case you have messed something up, because I've accidentally erased portions of builds many times doing this. The only thing with this command is trapdoors place wonky, so we'll have to fix those. Right now I'm erasing our temporary blocks, and as you can see we have back-to-back locomotives here. So we got to come in and fix these wonky trapdoors here. So I'm going to erase that and just go ahead and re-crouch and place our trapdoor in the middle, just like we did before. And we're going to come around and do that on the other end so the front trapdoor's fixed. We don't need to worry about those side ones because we're going to be erasing those anyway. Go ahead and do the same thing on the front, erase this wonky one, place some temporary blocks to stand, and crouch and get it fixed. And now we're going to edit this new locomotive we just copied in, because Gp30 road slugs weren't paired with other Gp30s, they were paired with Gp38s and Gp40s. So first thing, I'm going to come in and erase these trapdoors, we don't need them at all. And we're going to turn this front locomotive into a Gp40-2. So we're going to come up on top front of the locomotive, and start knocking out all these slabs. And we just keep knocking out all the slabs going back. We need to knock out all this stuff from the Gp30's brake blister because it's different on the Gp42. Go ahead and knock out the stairs underneath it too. We'll be rebuilding this in a different way. Delete all these warp slabs going across the top. And then delete everything on the other side, like the same thing we just did. And just keep deleting everything on this side, including the bell. Come up on the top and delete this dynamic brake fan here. And delete this horn as well. As you can see, I had some trouble getting it to delete, so I had to replace some of the blocks there. Come on this side and delete this top row of the stained glass, and then delete the whole left-hand column, and then delete another row off the top to make the Gp42's blower. Then in this bottom corner, we're going to go ahead and place down a block of blue concrete with a black carpet above it. Now we have the blower corrected. Now we're going to take out smooth quartz slab and make 2 rows of 2 on each side of the cab and fill the rest of the cab area in with white carpet. Those are the air conditioners. Then we're going to crouch over these vents and we're going to go ahead and place an iron trap door. And this will be a 3x3 covering these vents. Now we're going to come to the top back of the locomotive and add some detail because this one does have a prime mover in it. So start deleting some of this carpet in some plus shapes here, and we need to make 3 of them. Take out your warp slabs and start building our fans. There's 3 of them on the back of a Gp40-2. We can go ahead and fill in that hole. And now back to our slabs, and we're going to skip a block from those fans and make another one for the dynamic brake fans. Knock out all of the middles, and then just like before, we place in blast furnaces to be the bottom of the fans and trap doors that we have to crouch to place to be the tops of all of these fans here. In front of the first fan, knock out the middle and place a blast furnace to be the exhaust. And then, underneath all of these fans, we're going to knock out the top row on each side, coming out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have the vent for the prime mover. And then same thing over here. 6 blocks out on the top row, we knock out the blue concrete, and then we fill it in with bedrock. Now we come down in between these 2 fans with open warp fence gate to be the horn. And then we're going to go ahead and fill any of these open spots left on the top with blue carpet. Make sure we come back and do the tops of these vents around the fans so it looks right. Now we're going to come in with black stone stairs upside down right under the middle of this fan. 1 on each side. Then switch to warp stairs. 1 facing forward on this side, 1 facing backward on that side. Same thing over here. 3 black stone in the middle, upside down and facing outward. 1 facing forward on the front, 1 facing backwards on the back. Then we're going to go ahead and cover that with the blue carpet as well. And now we finish the corrected dynamic brake blister for this locomotive. Then we come on the conductor side underneath. In front of the fuel tank, knock out the chain and place the bell. The bell placement's different on this one. Now we take out birch signs so we can change the locomotive number. And the one I'm using for this is number 6493. So just come on both sides of the front, take out the old sign, and put a new one in with your corrective locomotive number. Come around the rear end and do the same thing. Knock out the old signs and place a new one with the correct locomotive number on both sides. And that's all the edits we need to do to this locomotive. So there you have it. We've converted the Gp30 build into a Gp40-2. So we have a Gp42 mother and a Gp32 slug mated to it. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share the video wherever you can. Everyone have a great week, and stay safe out there.